In this video lecture, we will discuss about methods of describing fluid motion. There are two methods. In the second method of describing fluid motion, we will see the concept of control volume is useful. And in order to understand the concept of control volume, let us revisit the continuum hypothesis concept, which is valid when the substance contained or filled with sufficient number of molecules, and in that case lambda, which is the mean free path will be very much less than the characteristic length of the vessel or the container, or suppose flow through pipe you are considering, in that case diameter would be considered as characteristic length, or in case of channel, the width of the channel or the height of the channel will be considered as the characteristic length. So irrespective of fluid flow, fluid motion, whichever we are considering, we will see whether there are sufficiently large number of molecules present in the substance. That is, lambda is very much less than characteristic length L. Then in that case continuum hypothesis is valid. Continuum hypothesis is valid. So specifically it should be, Knudsen number should be less than 0.01, so very much less than 1. In that case this continuum hypothesis would be valid. Of course this Knudsen number would not be negative, because lambda mean free path is positive and characteristic length is also positive. So Knudsen number is always positive, and specifically when it is between this range 0.01 and 0.1, in this case molecules of the fluid, here the fluid, the substance is the fluid, so we shall specify as fluid. So molecules will get more mean free path, so lambda would be little higher compared to little more value will be more magnitude compared to the magnitude of L. So in this case you can imagine the molecules will try to move more compared to this Knudsen number is less than 0.01. So in that case you can see slip flow. Molecules will be slipping over each other, and I am discussing about this third category later. When the Knudsen number is greater than 1, so lambda is greater than 10 times the characteristic length of the container. So in this case you will have free molecular flow, maybe for liquid or maybe for glass. So in this case free molecular flow will be seen, and in between transition flow, which is neither slip flow nor completely free molecular flow. So which is in between stage means point 1 to less than 10. So in between stage, it is called transition stage. Okay. So specifically we will discuss about this scenario when the Knudsen number would be very much less than very much less than 1, and specifically less than 0.01. So then we will discuss about continuum hypothesis is valid, and therefore the basic operations of calculus, that is continuity, differentiability, integrability, will be valid in fluid. So let us discuss about now what are these two motions, fluid motions. One type is Lagrangian motion or Lagrangian method, and another type is Eulerian method. So let us understand by an example of fluid flow phenomena. Suppose there is a pipe through which fluid flow is happening. So fluid is entering, maybe liquid or maybe gas, maybe are entering in this pipe, and these are the molecules. After the fluid is has entered the pipe, these are the molecules. Let us understand first by picture what does it represent and what is the difference between these two methods. So there are two methods in order to describe a fluid motion. One thing we can consider or we can discuss about, we can track each and every particle. We can track each and every particle. While tracking each and every particle, we will discuss about or we will investigate its velocity, pressure, and viscosity. So we will come to the definition of viscosity later. So these are the unknowns which we will discuss for velocity and pressure and viscosity. Let us suppose let us discuss about this particular molecule. Let's say this molecule is was earlier location was this and recent location is this. So this location you denote by P0 and this location you denote by P1. Okay, so P0 point is representing X0, Y0, Z0, and after some time, after this is at t equals to 0, at time t equals to 0. Now later at time t equals to P0, the position is changed as P1 represented by x1, y1, z1. So definitely this x1 can be represented as a function of, suppose f function x naught, y naught, z naught, and it is dependent also on t. And similarly y1 can be expressed, suppose this is f1, so f2 which is also dependent on x naught, y naught, z naught, t, and z1 which is f3, x naught, y naught, z naught, t. So all these x1, y1, z1 will be dependent on these four variables, or these initial positions in the spatial coordinate. These are called spatial coordinate. So this is the initial position was given of the particle and also the time t. Next, suppose this P1 particle or molecule is now have gone to or moved to this position. The position is P2. So suppose P2 having coordinates x2, y2, z2 at another time T1, t equals to T1. So then in that case x2, y2, z2 will be or can be expressed as some other functions of x1, y1, z1 and t. So suppose g1, g2, g3 you are representing. So we can express, if we omit these things, instead of giving these indices, so we can give index as like xi, yi, zi, xi, yi, zi, xi, yi, zi. And here correspondingly we can give I plus 1, I plus 1, I plus 1. So for I equals to 0, 1 and so on. So as soon as the particle, this particular particle or molecule changes its position, these many equations we will obtain. So these three coordinate or the components of the coordinates will be dependent on four variables. These are the spatial variable representing the coordinate of the particle or the position of the particle and time t. So in order to track the movement of each and every particle, it is very hectic. First of all, it is dependent on four variables. And we can do similar things for each and every other particles or molecules. We will track each and every particle or each and every molecule in the fluid motion. That is called Lagrangian method. And in this case, as we can see, so instead of xi plus 1, yi plus 1, zi plus 1, we can simply represent x, y, z functions of its earlier positions. Every time at t equals to t0, t equals to t1, t equals to t2, at every position, suppose here and here and here, it is representing different coordinates of the particle, and correspondingly we will get different velocity components. So suppose u equals to, u will be given by dou x by dou t, because x is dependent on 4 variables here. So u is the time derivative, velocity is time derivative. So this would be some another function. So f1, suppose v would be dou y by dou t. Suppose f2, another function of xi, yi, zi and t, and w, which is z directional velocity, would be f3, another function. So we can see also the velocity components u by w are consisting of partial order derivatives. Partial order derivatives with respect to time. So this is very much critical, very much non-linear, and very much time consuming, because we are tracking each and every particle in the motion. This is called Lagrangian method of describing fluid motion, or simply known as Lagrangian motion. In Eulerian motion, what is the difference? Instead of particle tracking approach in case of Lagrangian motion, in Eulerian motion it is done like this. So there is some portion we consider inside the volume through which the fluid flow is happening. Volume may be here it is considered as a pipe through which fluid flow is happening. So suppose we are sitting with a camera and focusing in this region only. Okay. So through this region, or through this volume, we can say, let me give the volume shape. So through this volume, volume as I have drawn in the figure may not be this much large. It may be some elementary volume in which the molecule shape would be like this, dots. So this may be a control volume. I am showing a magnified picture of this control volume. So we will focus in this region or in this region, and whichever molecules or particles are passing through this control volume, we will track those. So in this motion, we can directly write u equals to dx by dt, because x will be dependent on t, y will be dependent on t, and z will be dependent on t. So it is the position of the molecules will be dependent on time only. So at time, suppose t equals to t naught, this particle is here and after some time t equals to t1, this particle is here. So corresponding to different times, we'll get different position. So unlike this case, so xi, yi and zi and function variable t. So x is dependent on earlier positions and time t. Not only time x was dependent in the case of Lagrangian motion, x was not dependent on only t but also on the earlier position of the particle or molecule. Here x will be dependent on t only, not on the earlier position, but because you are not talking about any earlier position. So here we can directly write v equals to dy by dt, w equals to dz by dt. So this would be some function like g1, g2, g3. So which are functions of x, y, z and t, and where each x, y, z are also dependent on t. So ultimately it is a function of t. Each g1, g2, g3, ultimately it's a function of t. But while taking the derivative, chain will be applied. So and then you can integrate. So if you consider these three equations, dx by dt equals to g1, dy by dt equals to g2, dz by dt equals to g3, you can integrate these simultaneous differential equations. This is forming a system of simultaneous first order ordinary differential equation. Here in case of Lagrangian motion, it was consisting of first order simultaneous partial differential equation, but here simple ordinary differential equation we are getting, so which we can solve integrating with respect to t. So the basic difference between Lagrangian method and Eulerian method is that it is a particle tracking approach, and this is a control volume. This is called control volume. Control volume approach. So we are not discussing about each and every particle's motion. Instead of discussing each and every particle's motion, which is very hectic, we are simply considering in the fluid flow a control volume, and we are focusing on that what is happening in that control volume, inside that control volume. Velocity, changes in velocity, changes in pressure, changes in viscosity, etc., which we are considering. So we will prefer this Eulerian method, which considers the motion of a control volume in fluid dynamics, rather than discussing Lagrangian method, which is a particle tracking method. And let us discuss mathematical problem related to this. So we are given this in Eulerian system, an example. In Eulerian system, or in Eulerian motion you can write the velocity components of a two-dimensional fluid flow are given by u equals to 2x plus 2y plus 3t and v equals to x plus y plus half t. So it is asked to find the displacement in Lagrangian motion or system, as we are writing system here. So from Eulerian system we will move to Lagrangian system, and because of Lagrangian system, in order to obtain the solution in Lagrangian system we need initial value or some initial condition. So suppose u equals to given, so u equals to dx by dt, we will write plus 3y or 2y plus 3t and dy by dt equals to x plus y plus half t. So we can write this as d capital D minus 2 operated on x minus 2y equals to 3t. This is equation 1, where capital D equals to operator d by dt. Is it? And here we can write x or minus x plus d minus 1 operated on y equals to half times t. So we can solve for x and y from here. You know the solution of this kind of systems, so we will get the solution as like x equals to minus c1 plus 2c2 into e to the power 3t plus half t square minus 7 by 9t minus 7 by 18. And y equals to c2 plus c2 e to the power 3t minus 1 by 3 t square minus 7 by 18 t. So this is our solution. So extra we are assuming, because of Lagrangian system, that at t equals to 0, t naught, t equals to 0, we can also consider x equals to x naught, y equals to y naught. This was the particle's initial position. So we can put the values here, put the initial condition here. We can find the values of C1 and C2, and then C1 C2 we can obtain as writing the final answers. You can calculate in your own. 1 by 3 x naught, 2 by 3 y naught plus 1 by 3 2x naught 2y naught plus 7 by 9 into e to the power 3t plus 1 by 3 t square minus 7 by 9t minus 7 by 27, and this is 1 by 3 x naught plus 2 by 3 y naught plus 1 by 3 x naught plus y naught plus 7 by 18 equal to e to the power 3t So this we have found. See here, x and y are dependent on x naught, y naught and t. X naught and y naught and t, which is in Lagrangian system. So we can go back from Lagrangian system to Eulerian system again. So how we can see here x naught, y naught, here x naught, y naught, here. So we can solve for, from these two equations, we can solve for x naught and y naught, and what we will get, x naught as a function of x comma y comma t, and y is another function of x, y and t. So we can revert back from Lagrangian system to Eulerian system, vice versa. So from this same example, you can easily calculate how we are obtaining Lagrangian motion to Eulerian motion. Okay. So in the next video lecture, we will see about the difference between characteristic difference between solid and fluid. Thank you.